All right, guys, when I come in from work today, I started messing with my rear axle assembly. I kind of need to get it Z-chromed as well, so try to get as much of this stuff as I can ready. Anyway, this is a disc brake. This is just a little 10 bolt out of an S10 Blazer. I mean, this thing it's a pretty weak rear end, but I'm not going to beat on the car, so it'll work pretty good for me. I've run lots of little 7.5, 10 bolts in my Tri-5s. It's not something I'd go blasting with slicks on, you know, and do a bunch of donuts in and shit like that. But, anyway, trying to clean the rear end up a little bit because it's just rear ends are just pretty ugly. But anyway, I've got my rear sway bar mounts here. These are from an F-body 82 to 92. I think these are in particular off like an 84 or Z28. It's just an open mounting system. I don't even remember having them mounted. I took them off a car like 15 years ago. They've been in a box of mine. Anyway, I welded square nuts down in there on both sides, and I'm using the energy suspension, this style. That way it has a grease zerk, and polyurethane, it'll squeak like hell when it's dry, so I definitely wanted a grease zerk in there. But the Hellwig rear sway bar I'm running just came with a C-clamp setup, and it's real big and bulky, and it's actually for a 3-inch axle tube, and this is a little bit smaller. I'm not sure exactly what size this tube is. It's a little bit smaller than 3-inch, but anyway, so I just started boxing these in because I'm going to smooth these, mold these in there like I did all the work on my chassis. So anyway, I started on my spring perches here, and I built these little cap pieces to go on there, and pretty happy the way it's turning out. You know, when I get done welding it and then going through and bevel grinding and putting filler on my finger and going around everything and sanding it out, it'll look like it's cast as one piece. So it's just going to be a lot cleaner. I am going to deburr or decast all of this center section to make it nice and smooth. I've already did a little cleanup on it, removing a bunch of crap that was on it that it didn't need. It's just rusted since then. I've also went through and cleaned all this. It had a lot of rough casting and casting lines in it. I cleaned all that stuff up. I got ARP bolts for that. I also have a nice aluminum Proform rear end cover girdle going on it with ARP 12 points. I've got ARP 12 points for the sway bar to mount up in there, and I ordered from Totally Stainless, I mentioned this the other day, high strength stainless steel U-bolts, and I've got 12-point ARPs and those thick washers for the U-bolts. But anyway, these I made them in my brake over there, and they got a little kick in them right here. So you might not be able to see that, but I've got a little kick been in that, but it actually just fits perfectly right on there. I went in and kind of sanded the edges down, beveled it a little bit so the weld will go in there. But anyway, that'll cap that off real nice and look really good. I just don't want anything open on the rear end. I want it nice and clean looking, like it was meant to be. And also, just about every car I've ever had that was automatic, I never set the parking brake here in Oklahoma. There's just no hills around here. So anyway, I never used an emergency brake. Well, the emergency brake system on this rear end was ugly. Now they did go inside, like you see some of the Willwoods. They do have the e-brake that goes inside here, and that may be the way all disc brake assemblies are. Anyway, I remembered seeing one a long time ago in a magazine that actually went on the drive shaft back here by the U-joint. I always thought that was pretty trick looking. So if I do decide to do a e-brake later, that's what I want to do. So I ended up trimming the brackets off here, and I cleaned all the part numbers and crap off these because I'm going to completely smooth these up. I cleaned all the casting lines around. I got to go back with a finer paper and smooth them up a little bit. But these will be pretty much deburred and cleaned and smoothed, also in Z-chromed, and they bolt on like that. I do have ARP bolts for these as well, and 12-point nuts. But on these, the way they were put in, the bolts went in this way, and the nuts was on the back side. Now, I'm going to reverse it because you see the back side of this. there's absolutely nothing going to interfere. I had everything mocked up before I did this. So anyway, that'll be pretty exciting. I started cleaning and rounding these edges off. They're pretty much just sharp cut at an angle, and it just looks like crap. So I'm just kind of rounding them just a little bit with a roll lock. I'll go back with probably a DA and try to roll that just a little bit nicer. But I'll do it all the way around. I just want the rear axle to be really, really clean on this thing and smooth. It's got some webbing right here, and I had it on my notebook notes that, of course, this side don't match. It's kind of why I haven't done it yet, but I may go ahead and do it. This web is not as wide as this one, and I was thinking about doing some speed holes in here. Do like one in the corner way down here, and then two little ones on the outside, and then try to do something a little bit smaller on this one. But anyway, this axle, I'll have it completely smooth, and I'll go around everything with filler on my finger around all the braided brake hose cable bracket or hose bracket and all that crap. But I'll end up base coat, clear coating this black, and I'll go back and sand and buff it. I'm guilty of it myself, but a lot of guys, if you go to a car show, you see guys kind of bend down underneath the back of cars and look, and I want that rear axle to be just clean. Anyway, that's the plan. Now I got to make 2 more of these. Wasn't too bad actually. The last one I made here, I drew some templates off of it and some sheet metal over there and put my brake bend lines on. Anyway, guys, I've got a nice little K&N little stumpy filter that'll go here. It is an actual K&N, so it'll look pretty trick on there. But anyway, that's just a little bit of rear axle work there. I got a long way to go, man. Long way to go.